Hello, the law. What's up? You called me last night. You were crying. Uh-uh. I couldn't talk. Network was poor. You disturbed my sleep and there was no light last night. I couldn't even sleep. Hi. Why were you calling? You're still crying. What happened? Which video? About fibroid. I saw that video about fibroid though. I think that man should be brought in for questioning. And whoever those doctor friends of his need to be questioned as well. That's not the truth about fibroids. It's not true. Fibroids are thickening of the muscle of the uterus. It has nothing to do with sexual partners. It has nothing to do with your past. Oh, you went and told your husband about your ex-boyfriends. And he's now saying what? You're a lawyer now. You know your rights now. So all that law you were quoting for us in Ibiam, in my room in Ibiam, was for what? For nonsense. Don't you know your rights? Let me tell you. Oh, the small anatomy I learned, I was teaching you in Ibiam that time, you were not paying attention. When you be telling me ubi juice and ubi remedium, you should have listened. Okay. Network is poor. I will use... Pico, can I have the Samsung phone? I want to show my friend something about fibroids. That video is making the rounds. People are saying fibroid is due to too many sperm. And ask yourself, first of all, is sperm hemoglobin? Is sperm hemoglobin? What is the relationship between sperm hemoglobin and amoeba? My dear, forget that nonsense. Let me explain. Calm down now. Stop crying. Your husband cannot send you out of your house. After all, you told him everything about your exes before you married now. So, okay, let me use my hand and explain. Imagine that this is the uterus. This is the uterus like this. These are the fallopian tubes. This portion is the cervix now. You know, I told you about cervix. You've gone for a cervical smear. And then imagine that this long portion is the vagina. Now, the uterus has muscle. This middle portion is the muscle, which we call the myometrium. Sometimes, due to certain factors, the myometrium can thicken and then you have fibroids. That is how fibroids are formed. What causes it? So many factors. It could be genetics. You told me your mom had fibroids now, didn't you? She had to come to the UK for surgery. That time she came and stayed in my house. Marshall, don't you try. I will take you to the... Chiamaka, how can I sue a dog to court? Is there any veterinary law court that, this dog is disturbing me? She blocks my door. I'm talking... Marshall, stop it. You don't have fibroids. I'm speaking to a friend. See, look at her. See what she does. Can you see? She'll come and be biting my leg. Performing. Stop it, Marshall. I'm doing a serious phone call to my friend who is a lawyer. She'll sue you. So now, several things can cause. So if this is the uterus, okay. Oh, Jehovah Nissi. Oh my goodness. I have to run away. I'm standing on a bench now so that I can have peace. So, no! Jehovah! Shama! Nasty dog. Hey, Chiamaka, this is what I see every day in the hands of this dog. Look at her. Get back. You cannot enter this room. Step back. This is the latest she has learned. So as I was saying, and I've even left the phone outside now. So there are several factors that can cause fibroids to form. Genetics, I've said one. Number two, excess exposure to estrogen and progesterone. You know that when we were in school, when you started taking the combined pill, I was telling you that when you take it, you should take breaks. Excessive exposure, estrogen, is what causes the uterine lining to thicken. Progesterone causes it to shed in the the menstrual cycle now. So, excessive exposure, contraceptive pills, or other endogenous hormones that contain estrogen can increase your risk of having fibroids. Then, so many other factors. Oh, yeah. You saw that paper that Badebo Vivo's wife wrote about the link between relaxers and fibroids. My dear, that's not why I went natural. You know why I went natural? I went to the UK. I didn't have money. The person who wanted to plait my hair all back as of 2012 was charging me £40. For what? Hair that I can plait myself. My dear, that's how I went natural. I'm even plaiting it myself. My dear, so don't mind that thing that you saw. I'm really, really ashamed of my country, Nigeria, to allow such charlatans on the pulpit. Is that the gospel of salvation he's supposed to be preaching? What is his business with anybody's sexual lifestyle? Why can't he focus on himself? Talking about sperm and hemoglobin and amoeba. My dear, I'm plaiting my hair myself. Ever since I learned how to plait my hair, nobody collects money from me unless I feel like I want to give you money to plait my hair. For what? I plaited this once last night after you woke me up. I plaited these two. But network was poor and there was no light. These mosquitoes did not allow me sleep. I can't wait to go home. Honestly, I'm going home. Stop crying. It's not true. It's not true. Go to the NHS website. There is even this textbook I used then for gynecology, Ebola, Ebola. Yes. The whole description about fibroids are there. A friend of mine, my chief consultant gynecologist in the US, Dr. Ufondo, he holds talks. You need to join his teaching class, SHGS, on Facebook. Yes, he teaches about everything gynecology. Then there's also Dr. Dave Okorafor, who does roadside medical health. Yeah. I know now. I'm going to do a teaching on in Igbo about this because there's no need putting fear. You are busy attacking the women for sexual promiscuity. Did they do it with themselves? Why can't he face the men? Why can't he face the men who cannot put their phalluses inside the trouser? The same thing that happened in the Bible. No, I know now. I can feel when I'm plaiting my hair. I'm plaiting it well. This thing that happened in the Bible, they caught the woman in adultery. They only decided to attack and shame the woman. What about the man? Something that our Lord said, he that is without sin cast the first stone. That particular pastor needs to be brought in for questioning because he has brought shame to all Nigerian pastors. And like I said, those his doctor friends, whoever they are, in fact, anybody on his phone that is a doctor, they should bring him for questioning. Yes, I have. Let me show you with pictures this whole thing about fibroids. My dear, you that are even crying, he said it causes infertility. Are you infertile? Don't you have two beautiful children? I know that you are trying for another baby. What about me? Do I have anyone? My dear, please stop this. And I hate it when people talk to me about trying for baby. Me, do I have? Now. And that's the thing now. My mom too had fibroid, but my dad was my mom's first. So what are you saying? Forget that thing. So it's genetics, exposure to this thing, to excess doses of estrogen, progesterone, and also late age at having children. You had your first at 18 now. You married in school. You had your first at 18. So, Chiamaka, this cry you're crying. I don't. So everything I've told you now, you don't believe me. Okay, let's go to the NHS website now. If you think I'm lying. How can I be your friend, the doctor, and you're still arguing with me? It's not right though. You can't be, you called me all through last night. I couldn't sleep. So look at it. What are fibroids? Can you read it there? Uterine fibroids are growths in or on the walls of the uterus. They consist of smooth muscle cell and connective tissue. So you can see the uterus there. That's the uterine cavity I was trying to explain. Look at the fibroids protruding into. Yeah. Yes, now that's why you've been having heavy periods, because you can see that the fibroids have caused the surface area of the uterus to increase. Because of that, you have more blood to shed in your periods. The ones that block the cervix and the ones that block the fallopian tubes can cause infertility. And also the ones that are very big ones can also prevent the fertilized egg from implanting. That's why you have the heavy period and possibly why you've been struggling to conceive. But you've had 2 kids already now, so... And then you could also be having abdominal pain. If they're very big, sometimes they get bigger than the blood supply. And because of that, if the blood supply is low, they can actually begin to die, necrose on themselves. Yeah, you could also have constipation if they are impacting or impinging on the large intestine. You could have urinary frequency if they are pressing on the bladder. And most times it's not cancer. Most times they are non-cancerous and they rarely transform into cancer. Don't come and sue me now, barrister. You come and say, I told you they don't. They rarely. Yeah, so the common symptoms, heavy periods, like I've said, painful periods, lower back pain or leg pain due to pressure symptoms, constipation, this feeling of fullness, frequent urination. You could also have pain. Yeah. That's that pain you've been having during sexual activity. Yeah, you can pause it there. Yeah, this is from Medscape. They are a very good website. I'm even subscribed to them. So, like I said, the causes are unclear. Genetic factors, estrogen, progesterone. And then they say that there's also a link between excessive red meat consumption, alcohol, and caffeine. And then if you're having increased fruit and vegetable intake, there's a reduced risk. Being overweight and obese also is associated with an increased risk. Childbearing is associated with a lower risk. That's why I said having your kids late puts the uterine cavity at risk of developing fibroids. Yeah. And yeah, the black race. That's why I think that link between relaxers, like Badebo's wife wrote, then there has to be a link. But I'm hoping to do my own research as well. I don't use relaxers anymore, so it's not going to be me. So yeah, the diagnosis usually when you go and see your doctor. No, you cannot see me. I am on holiday. No. I'm on holiday. Go and see your doctor. Go to UNTH and see a gynecologist there. They'll take a history. And then examine you. If necessary, they can do an ultrasound scan. And yeah, they could do a hysteroscopy whereby they go in through a keyhole and have a look. Yeah. You bought what? Fibroid dissolver. My dear, now your kidney failure they look at like that. So better go and see a consultant, a lawyer like you, fibroid dissolver. When it's time for you to go and sue those people that are selling these things, you will not sue them, but you come and be suing doctors like us. See your life? Yeah, their medication, sometimes they can give you hormone blockers. But the problem with it is that they can give you side effects of like menopause because they are blocking estrogen and progesterone. Yeah, so we call them the GnRH agonists, and it's usually for short term. The purpose is to shrink it. For some people, it works. It can shrink the uterus. Sometimes it doesn't. Some other people decide to have what they call embolization surgery because they don't want to go for the full-blown surgery. Yeah, so they but it's usually in advance. I don't know if UNTH does it, but you should ask your consultant. Yeah, so they can actually go and block the blood supply to that particular fibroid, and the fibroid will just die off. You wouldn't need to have surgery. But if it is massive fibroids and, because these things grow, and if it's causing you too much problem, then you have to have a surgery. Myomectomy, that's the surgery. So they go in and they just remove the fibroids. But if it is very severe and it's almost everywhere, yeah, they might need to do a hysterectomy whereby they remove the uterus. But that's usually in extreme cases. I know that you're still trying to have more babies. My dear, you try in this hard life, in this hard Nigeria, my dear, you have the money. Your husband is an oil magnate now. Get money and you're a barrister. All the money you've made from your court cases. Yeah. Or lifestyle changes. You need to start exercising now. Go to Opera Square and be exercising. My friend Sandra Eje, she does exercises. Her Instagram page is back to shape. Yeah, she'll help you. You have to start exercising, eat more fruits and vegetables. Every time I come to your house, I so meat. If you're not roasting a whole cow, you're roasting a whole goat, you're roasting a whole ram. Mashallah, I'll take you to my friend's house so you can go and eat meat and you will leave my leg alone. Yeah. Stop crying. Don't mind what that pastor said. That is the height of ignorance. A shame from the pulpit. Those are people that God will start judging. My dear Biko, it's late. I was planning. I need to go and see my friend. Soskin, Dr. Soskin. And now the one that was in my class is now in orthopedic. I want to go and see him. Then I want to also see Dr. AGK. Dr. AGK who paints now. Dr. AGK. I want to do all of that. I have to go to Ibiam. My father said I must show today. Otherwise. And it's my daddy. I'm my daddy's girl. Now. We'll just later. When I do the Igbo video, I'll send it to you so you can use it for your CWO meetings. Okay? I love you, girl. Stop crying. Nothing do you. The law. No sumio. Ubi juice. Ubi remedium. See yourself now.